Oh, great. Great. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Or should I say gals? No guys on here. Okay, so today we're going to look at y'all's brain guides really quickly, and then we're going to start our next project, which is a social media campaign. And we're going to talk about that. And some of you guys might have already turned in the first assignments to do this week, right? If I was looking at that.
I haven't done an assignment yet.
Okay. Sarah, you might have. I can't trying to see. No, that's okay. It is okay. You don't have to turn in things early. So we're going to talk about that project and go over some examples for that. Okay. Let's see if anyone else. I'm going to try to invite Elijah one more time. They may not join. Okay. So with that, Sarah, do you want to share your brand guide?
Sure. Tell me when you can see it.
I can see it.
All right.
Walk us through.
I'm just going to look at it.
Okay.
Do you want me to say anything about it, or?
Oh yeah, please do. Walk us through it to show it. Just tell us what you've done here.
Okay. Well, this is just the regular black and white version of it. This is about the font. These are my colors that I chose. The gray is just for when, like, if you want to put it on like a gray background, like as a white. Which is you said to do the spacing, so I tried my best to figure out how to do that correctly. I don't know if it's right or not, but
you know, there's multiple ways to do it, and that showing the little dashes like that is fine.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then these are all my colored versions of it. I have a paragraph here talking about what colors not to put on it, and that you shouldn't like mix the colors or put one that's like the green on the green. And here's like
I hadn't thought about that, but yes, good idea. Say that.
Here's an example of one that I didn't like, so I put it next to it because I thought it would look too vibrant.
Okay.
Here's my do not page. I was gonna make this the gradient be the same color as like the actual logo, but I didn't know how because it was like messing up, and it always made it this color, so I just left it that color.
Okay.
So that's my only problem with this one.
Okay.
And this was the thing that I had to do last minute because I kept on having trouble with it. And I didn't put it where I actually wanted to because I couldn't get it correctly. I wanted it across the whole thing. And I watched like videos and stuff on how to do it, but I still just couldn't get it. So I also was going to change the background of this to the same green as all of these light greens on the page, but it didn't work. So that's what I have.
Okay. On the background, have you ever used the magic eraser in Illustrator?
No.
So if you just import the truck, and you could leave your logo on there or not, and you click on the magic eraser, which is just import the photo, like a photo of the truck, not your whole brain guide.
Yeah.
And if you click on the magic eraser, which is like the third, you go to the eraser button, and then you hover over it, or you click that little triangle in the bottom right-hand corner so you can see all the options. And the third one down, I think, is the magic eraser. And that will erase the entire background.
Okay.
And then, because you got that little blue in the window, I think if you hold Alt and then click on the blue, it will erase that too and make it white. Yeah. Or it'll just eliminate it, and then you can put it on a white background.
Okay.
And so your refashion wouldn't go over the white part of the truck?
It looked wrong, and so I made a little black box and put it like on the van itself and put refashion on it because it also wouldn't show up on this white.
Weird. Oh, well, because it's white.
It was too light, yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. That is a little tricky. Sometimes I know this was the truck picture in Photoshop mockups or
Yeah.
which one? Yeah. Sometimes, and I need to post this, I just post the mock-up thing. Sometimes I like, instead of using an actual photo of a truck, although designers love the actual photo, is to get just what I call a mechanical drawing of the photo, where it's just the outline of the truck, like a coloring book.
Yeah, that would have been probably better than this.
And just stick it on that. So sometimes I know that is not as, I don't know what, slick looking, but I think it's sometimes easier.
Yeah, that probably would have been best.
Yeah. And then you can even go easier than that, and you can just literally sort of very almost iconish draw an outline of a truck, and then you put two round tires in there and you stick it on like that, just so that it's a generic truck. Okay, so anything that you do or don't like about the brand guide so far? Anything you want to work on? Let's say if let's say you like this and you want to put in your portfolio. What do you want? Anything you want to change about this?
Well, I'd want to do that background because that bothered me because it doesn't match the whole thing. It looks out of place.
Correct. Definitely do that. You can resubmit if you want.
Yeah.
Go back up to your things, your second page there, where you show the way you're supposed to use the refashion.
Right here?
One more page up.
One more page up.
One more click up. If you can.
This is
the actual. For some reason, it's still stuck on the do not part. There we go. Go down just a little bit to show the one you don't like.
Okay, this one.
That red one. Very interesting. Do you guys have a color theory class? Or is color theory?
One. I think there is one.
I think only in one class we talk about briefly.
Is it in fundamental design, maybe? Color?
Design 1.
Design 1?
About color theory.
Okay. Did you guys ever hear the word simultaneous contrast?
No.
Okay.
Don't remember.
Well, it is, okay, so contrasting colors, for example, red and green, are contrasting colors, like orange and yellow, or sorry, orange and blue. So interestingly enough, sometimes that can be very powerful and, stand out. However, your eyes, in fact, Sarah, what you don't like in the refashion, that's the red and the green, the one you don't like at the very bottom, that is creating a strange simultaneous contrast, which is why you don't like that. See how it's sort of blurry, even when it's not blurry?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your eyeball making it blurry, when in fact it's actually not blurry. Because I was looking, I think I pulled yours up over the weekend. Catherine, any comments about Sarah's brand guide? Things you like?
Well, first of all, it really looks professionally made. So I'll give her props for that. Like, it's really, really nice. Looks like something it would actually be used. It would be used for a company. She really goes hard. She went detailed about she put text about it. Like, she put all the details and how to use it. Guides. Yeah.
Oh, good. That's good. Good thoughts.
I mean, good thoughts around.
Yeah. Yeah. Great layout. On the logo itself, did you decide to do anything with that dash?
I moved it up.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
I just can't tell in this one. Okay. Okay, great. Sarah, if you would unshare your screen.
All right.
Catherine, can you share yours?
All right, just give me a second. I'm trying to find where I put it because I have a lot of stuff on my computer.
Oh, yeah, you just have to make it a tab, or that's the easiest way I found. There are other ways to do it, like I'm getting ready to share a Word document. You can sort of have it pulled up, and you click share your whole screen when you click on it.
Yeah. So this is the logo. This is the front. This is, the two logos that I meant, would be used, the main two.
Okay.
The type font, which will be the type Century, I think, Century, and our prime colors, again, would be only the two that we use for the logo example, and this would be mainly look like if it would be on a tag. Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay. There's the
So
tag.
Kept it, short, simple, to the point, because, from my experience, if it's too wordy, I'm not going to understand what's saying or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
I really like the tag.
The tag looks good.
Yeah.
What do you like about what you've done, and anything, if you're going to add this, if you're going to keep going on this project and put in your portfolio, what would you add to it? Anything?
For the branding guide, I guess. I don't know exactly what I would do for the branding guide to add. I know I wanted to add something more. It's just like I kind of had no idea what to do on this one. For the
On the
branding.
tag, for example, this looks great. And then what you could do is also show the back, because obviously there's no price on this unless you're going to write the price over it. I'm guessing the price will be on the back, and you could have some little grid, or maybe just have the heart without the letters, and you put the price in there, and on the bottom you have a little additional line or something, and you write, size.
I see. I could have added like the price tag, or what would it look like with a price tag along with it.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Well, good. Go back up to the font page. You got the colors in there. Great. I would add the whole alphabet on here.
Okay. Yeah.
I spell out Amanda's Boutique, and just add add a little comment about why you could add a comment about why this is the font you've chosen.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit more verbiage. Okay. Okay. And if you say the main, like you say our main font, then that sort of implies that there's a secondary one.
Oh.
So don't say main, say the typeface or something. Just say this is, this is the font we're using. Or I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if you say main, then that implies there's a secondary font. Okay. Okay, great. Go back up to the logo, the main logo. You got the black and white version. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Okay. Okay. The spacing is starting to look pretty good with the A and the B and the dots.
Yeah. I know, like, when I was, like, on, like, Illustrator trying to fix it, it did say, like, yeah, it's on, like, the same space in a way. I don't know how to just explain it. But at the same time, it still looked like the B is, like, floating upwards or something.
It is funny, it can be lined up, but it looks like it's not.
Yeah.
Right.
Whether should I just shrink it, or should I let it be, or that was like my main issue with the type.
Sometimes you actually have to have it be not lined up to look lined up. So I would just tap it down just the teeniest bit. Yeah, because actually I mean, it looks pretty lined up to me, although it is funny. The B looks, Sarah, do you think the B looks like it's floating up? That's weird. It does, but I know when you sent me the file, I think you sent me the file, it was not floating up. I mean, it's not actually higher than the A.
Yeah.
No, it looks lined up to me.
Yeah, it looks pretty lined up. I think maybe if the screen is slant, like if I unslant my screen, if I unslant my screen, then it doesn't look floating. But if the screen is slanty, it does. So I would leave it where it is.
Because I've been working on this for so much, it kind of looks weird for me.
Yeah, you just focus on it too much.
You get tired of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if I were able to redo this again, I guess I wanted to put more detailed or something, or like put an example of not to do or something, or.
True, you could use the not thing. Like, for example, what are some things you would not want people to do with this logo?
For this logo, I guess just putting on the wrong background, like saying like you can't put it with this color because it just won't look good, or like it will like kind of like not draw attention to it. It would.
I think one thing that people will do with this, I think if you don't tell them not to, is they will stick stuff in that heart.
Yeah.
Now, you may want them to do that. In fact, you could in the do thing say it's okay to write, you know, a thank you note in the heart, or it's okay to write the price in the heart, or not. So you could do some things like that.
Yeah, it could be like kind of more specific with this.
Right. Okay. Okay. Unshare your screen there. Okay. I am going to share my screen, I think, or in a minute. Okay. So the next project is a social media project. So it is a project that I have to say, it's not a project that I think, well, it could end up in your portfolio. The problem is that you've got to make sure you explain to people, because we're not going to redo anyone's logo. Let's see, Catherine, did you pick a charity already?
No, I have not, but I did look through it. And
that list, it's 100 or 98 of them.
Yeah, and I know they talked about like for several zoos, or like I know they talked about, what was that? Doctors for Without Borders.
You like that one? Okay. I
like that one.
Sarah, which one did you pick?
I haven't even looked at the assignment.
Okay. So you have to go on. There is a shared spreadsheet in the content on week 1. And there's a list there. If you click on it, it takes you to a list of 98 charities that are real charities. So you have to pick one. Of course, I love Nature Conservancy. These are national charities. And so you have to pick one. And so you are not redesigning their logo. You have to use their logo, and you have to find, and the reason I picked these, and Ryland helped also, he's added to the list, the department head, these charities, is that the brand guide is public. So you should be able to find, and that's one of your assignments by this Sunday, is you got to find the brand guide. So it says what type they use, what colors they use, imagery, the whole shebang. Some of them are pretty extensive. So we're doing a real charity. You're going to find their brand guide. And then what we're going to do is some research about that charity. And then we're going to do a social media campaign. And the difference between it's an important project that's good for you getting a job versus it's going to get in your portfolio, I want to talk about a little bit. So this is the type of thing, that social media campaign, that you as a brand new person could be doing quite easily in a group. You may not be the leader of it, but they'll say to you, okay, we're doing this social media campaign for Doctors Without Borders, and we're going to use Twitter and Instagram. And Catherine, I want you to do the Excel spreadsheet to say how many posts we're going to do and outline the whole thing. Okay. Very common type of project for people to do when they start out. So this is not something that I think it can end up in your portfolio, because we're going to do mock-ups of what your phone is going to look like with social media posts. And there's a great template for that. So we're not making up any template. The template is in Illustrator. I think there's one in InDesign also. So we're looking at an actual charity. We're going to do some research, and you can either use an event that charity normally does and do the social media post for that, or you can make up something and do a social media post for a campaign that you think they should do. So then you get to pick the platforms we're going to use. We're going to use at least 2 social media posts. I think I wrote that down. Yeah, 2. It's extra credit if you do, and I hate to use the word old media, but regular media, if you take the designs you come up with and apply it to something that is not social media, like a billboard, then that is extra credit. And then we're going to use one, besides social media, 2 platforms. We are going to use one guerrilla marketing platform. So the project is not about graphic design of a logo. It's about the use of the current graphic design, their logo, their colors, their type, and you coming up with how it's going to look on this campaign. So you have some flexibility. There is a design component to this, but it is the second phase of design components, what you end up doing a lot. So the logo's already done, and now you're figuring out how it's going to look. Does that make sense so far? Questions you have so far?
No, I think it's pretty interesting. I will have to look at the list again.
Look at the list, and I have to say, I haven't checked all 98. I did check a bunch this last weekend and saw that the brand guide was available, and some students have already picked one and posted it. If you pick a charity and you can't find the brand guide, look for a little while. But then if you can't find it, pick another charity. Because every once in a while, a company that has published the brand guide takes it off, or gets hard to find, or wherever they have it collapses, various things like that. So I know some students get caught up sometimes, and I can't find the brand guide, so look for a little while. But if you can't find it, then, and some of it's very public. Okay, so just to outline this project a little bit, we're going to do research like we did before. You're going to do a SWOT analysis, okay? From the SWOT analysis, from looking at what they're doing already, you're going to figure out, again, use a current event or do a new event. You're going to figure out what platforms you're going to use. Again, looking at the audience. Does the audience skew older? Maybe they would want to be on LinkedIn. Does it skew younger? Does they want to be on, I don't know, what would be a younger? Instagram might be younger. What do you guys think the newest social media platform is? The one that if you're cutting edge on social media, what do you think you'd be on?
I think Instagram is pretty popular.
Instagram,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, mainly would be Instagram or well, it depends what you're gonna do.
Depends on the audience, right? But if you're trying to let's say you're trying to reach 18-year-olds, you think Instagram or?
Well, kids these days are using TikTok, and I don't think you can.
TikTok, okay, that's a video, right?
That's video format.
So
yeah,
TikTok is a good one.
Okay.
Yeah. I kind of have an idea how I would maybe promote stuff through TikTok, but the problem is that's a video thing, so.
Okay. So TikTok social media, you could pick that. But you're right, that's definitely younger. I am not. I've never been on TikTok. So
it's just more of a video format.
Video format. Is it sort of like what was that one that was only 15 seconds that went away? It was Vine.
It's exactly like Vine.
Vine. Okay. So it's up to you which platforms you use, and that should be backed up by some research and what you're doing. Now, keep in mind, you're sort of the client. So you could decide that let's say we're looking at the Nature Conservancy, and let's say you do your research, and the Nature Conservancy currently everyone who's paying attention to them is 80. So if you go with if you're trying to market and do an event to the people who currently are involved with the Nature Conservancy, maybe you pick Facebook because 80-year-olds are on Facebook. Because Lord knows my mom is 85, and that is her only social media. Or you could say, hey, the whole Nature Conservancy group is 80-year-olds, and we need to reach some new people. We're trying to do a thing for a event to target 25-year-olds, so we're going to use Instagram. So again, one would be a strength in the SWOT. Everyone who pays attention to Nature Conservancy is 85, so we're going to enhance a strength. Or a weakness is no one involved with the Nature Conservancy is 25. We're going to try to work on a weakness. Okay. So again, that's what the research is for. So then we're going to pick the platforms. We're going to do some research, find the brand guide. You're going to pick the platforms. Then we're going to not do this week. The research is due this week in the SWOT. The next step is a proposal, which we're going to work on next week. So you could look ahead and look at the video. There's a whole set of readings on the proposal, which is pretty good. It's a blog. We're going to do a proposal where we outline what we're going to do. In that proposal, I am going to require you to find a template, and I give you like 20 of them, but you can use another one. You have to use a template for the proposal, and it has to have a certain thing in it. And one of them is going to be a timeline of what you're going to do on the social media platform that you pick. Then you're going to outline your guerrilla marketing campaign or platform, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more in a minute. Then that's when you're actually going to the third week, we're going to do the mock-ups. So you're going to use their logo, you're going to use their colors, you're going to figure out what you're doing. If, let's say, if you're doing TikTok, you would have to pick what kind of video you're going to stick on there and show a mock-up. Obviously, we're not going to put a video on there most likely, but we could do the initial shot of the video. You could talk about it. Or Instagram, it could be the photos, the type, whatever. So I am going to share my screen, and I first want to show you guerrilla marketing. Let me show you guerrilla marketing. Oops, got to share my screen first. An example of guerrilla marketing. Can you guys see? You guys see my Google screen of all the sidewalks?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So this is something you can actually pay to have done in Salisbury or Charlotte or Concord. There are several companies that do this. It's amazingly expensive in some ways, I think. Although, depending on the size of the company, I believe for a charity, it seems expensive. But if you're a big company like Bank of America, or maybe a big restaurant, it might not be expensive. So one thing that is a very common guerrilla marketing type thing is you just take the sidewalk and you clean it with a stencil. So here's pizza, Domino's Pizza. So they've got their little logo there with the Domino's Pizza, and it has the legends. And so you can literally clean the sidewalk with a marketing campaign. It could be the sidewalk down the street from your restaurant so that people don't go into, or if they're walking down the street going, where should I go to lunch? They go, oh, Domino's down the street. Okay. So that is something you can do here in Charlotte pretty easily. Let me page down here a little bit. Oops. There's one for McDonald's. I don't quite know that one is. That's interesting. That's an anti-McDonald ones. So, here's one for restaurants. So a lot of people do this in restaurants. Here's just chalk. You can do a chalk. So you can pay people to do this type of stuff in Charlotte, all over the country. Here's painting. So you can paint on the street. Painting you used to have to get permission for, like this. You have to get permission to paint. But if you clean something, you actually don't get fined for doing that. So for example, right now in Charlotte, if you do this on the sidewalk, you don't get fined in Charlotte for doing that. Now, if you paint on the sidewalk, you could get a fine, okay, for vandalizing the sidewalk. But if you're cleaning the sidewalk, then you're actually doing the city's job for them. Have you guys ever seen a guerrilla campaign like this? No?
Absolutely not. Maybe
No? Okay.
But no.
Okay. The latest one I've seen, and I couldn't find a picture of it, in Charlotte, they actually had for a breast cancer. So, I probably should have gone to the Susan G. Komen website. So it was a Susan G. Komen campaign, and it had basically a square that was the right proportion for Instagram. And it had you had 2 feet there, so you could stick your feet in there, and it had a perfect Instagram sort of picture for you to stick your feet in with this Susan G. Komen. It was like Run for the Cure. So you could stick your feet in there and it said Run for the Cure, and it was your feet, and you could take a picture of it.
Oh.
So it was cute. I'm trying to find it, and a ton of people took pictures and said, "Oh, here's my feet. I'm starting to run." It was a quick, easy way. It was a perfect.
Yeah. It's not like I can see why. Like it's like a cute idea, and it's like for a serious move, like a serious thing.
Right. I'm gonna try to find that because I did see that here in Charlotte last year. Race for the Cure. So I'll try to find that. But so anyway, that was one I've seen recently, but I've seen a lot of other ones. I just drove around downtown Salisbury, and the best example of guerrilla marketing I saw was a little bit more like the one that they show down here, which is this, where they're writing on the wall. Downtown Salisbury has quite a few murals. So one guerrilla marketing that I know people do these days, because murals are so important, is they take a side of their building and they just paint a big mural on it. Obviously, it's easier to see from far away. So that is another type of guerrilla marketing. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to stop sharing this. And let me find something else. Okay, can you guys see this? It says Dine Out for Kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an example of a campaign that was a social media campaign done a year ago for an event that happens in Charlotte for 20 years. Okay, so this has a lot of elements in it that we are doing, and then a lot of elements that we aren't doing. But it's a good example of a local campaign. So the organization is called Communities in Schools. So it's right here. That's the organization. So like if you were researching this organization, it's not one of the ones you can pick, because they really don't have a brand guide they don't have a public brand guide. Then they have this event called Dine Out for Kids. So this is something you can either find with your if you want to do an event. You don't have to do an event, but let's say you're looking for an event with a thing. You find what they're doing, this event, and then this is the campaign that is for this event within Communities in Schools. So here is their website banner. So here's the logo for Dine Out for Kids. Here is one of their photos they took. So this is the imagery they're using for this year. Last year, 2019. So they took these pictures, and I was there for the photography session for this. Obviously, we tried to get the pieces of paper for these kids to hold that says Dine Out for Kids, and we did have them on there. It looked horrible, so we just turned them white, and I stuck Dine Out for Kids on there, in Photoshop. So here's the banner for the website. Oops. Then here are the two logos for Dine Out for Kids, and it's a stylized, fork, knife, and spoon. You've got your black Dine Out for Kids, and then you have it when it's all on red. So here's some logo variations, part of the research. So then this is old media. Here is the table card. So Dine Out for Kids, what it was a day where you could go out to restaurants, about 100 restaurants, and they shared the money with this charity when you ate out with them. There's a sticker that was applied to a chef hat. Here's a postcard. Then here is a website banner. So here's a website. So here you are, fueling kids' potential, sort of a secondary tagline for that. And then you click here, that shows all the restaurants. So one of the things that I'm going to do is, if you pick Facebook, let's say, as your platform, or Instagram, I'm going to ask that you have an ability to have a initial message on Facebook or Instagram, and then a reply, at least one reply if people click on something. So you want to have to take some action. And here sees the restaurants, and then they immediately go to a page that shows all the restaurants. So that's the secondary thought. So here's an example of a restaurant that, and this was a campaign I did, a restaurant that I worked with, Rosemont. Anyone been there? Rosemont Bar? I don't know. There's one in, they're all down in Rock Hill, I think. So here's an example of a bar that I was working with for this campaign. They're great. I loved it. They completely disregarded everything I sent to them, and they did their own table tent that violated my entire brand guide. So can't win them all with that. So then here are some Instagram posts for this. So here is the Instagram post, we decided we were going to have some food item with the logo on it, and then sponsors and some verbiage. Then here were some photos that we wanted to use. Here's the photos, fueling kids' potential with a secondary line, again with the hat. We wanted to have the kids in the hat with a little sticker, with some verbiage. Here's Instagram again. We wanted to have food. We wanted to show one of the things that in this campaign, because it was with restaurants, we wanted to have actual food from the restaurants. And you can see we're trying to give the restaurant, you can see here is this true craft pizza, although bad photo by me. We were trying to make sure the restaurant was included in the post with their food. Here are the Twitter posts. Again, so it's restaurant photo, verbiage, and the no logo this time. Again, for social media, so you got to think about hashtags. So you can have some hashtags. Here's restaurant photos. Here's the interior choices I gave restaurants, the exterior shot of the restaurant or the interior shot of the food. Here's more Twitter. Again, exterior restaurant. This is a very fancy restaurant, McNitch House in downtown Charlotte. And then a not so fancy restaurant, Yaffo Kitchen, with their food items. And then here is just straight old school stuff. So again, this is extra credit if you want to do it. Here is the poster for the event. Here is the mailing postcard. And here's the front and back of the table tents for this event. Okay. Questions about that? That make a little bit more, add to it. And so when I say we're doing a mock-up of the social media, this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to show how your post is going to look, how the photo is going to look. And you can put the phone around it, and this is a screenshot. You can do it as a screenshot, or you can put the phone around it. Again, notice, because there's the line on how it works, here's the photo, here's the logos. So that's when I say when we're doing a mock-up, the mock-up, like this is the Twitter, has to look like Twitter. You know, it doesn't have to look, doesn't have to have those screenshots. It just has to look like your post. Okay. And then bad. So for in theory, here's my name up here with my bad, not bad, but my personal stuff. And one of the big problems that, and I have to say, this is me showing things that I got to work and didn't get to work. I couldn't get, because I had multiple people posting, I couldn't get the Dine Out for Kids logo to show up under my name unless I made it my logo, and then that got all kinds of messed up too. So we're trying to show that. You could say, I want people to post the logo. Notice here on this worked. This got the logo there. In Twitter, it worked. It didn't show up from me. It showed up from communities and schools, or it showed up Dine Out for Kids. For some reason, Instagram, this Instagram or is this Facebook? That's Twitter. Well, there's Twitter one. This worked well in getting the logo. Here, this worked. This went with my idea. There's communities and schools showing up. Okay. Okay. Questions? Okay. So, do the reading that's showing, and it for next, it's this week. I think it's showing up. No, it might be next week. So it's the second. Let me look since I have my other computer pulled up. Hold on a minute. I say the wrong thing. Oops. Oh. Yeah, so social in-course content module 3, which is the social media. Then lesson 2 has a reading that's, somewhat extensive. Definitely do that. And that talks about the proposal. But this week, the assignment is pick your charity, find the brand guide, and then do the research, just like we did on the last one. Use outline format, and then end up with a SWOT and draw some conclusions from that SWOT. Questions?
I don't have any. It sounds pretty clear.
Okay, pretty clear. Okay. So on Wednesday, if you have things that you want to talk to me about, like share your SWOT with me or have some questions, I will be on there. Just to let you know, so grading wise, I am going to try to grade everything, sometimes a little far ahead. And so even if I put a 0 on some things in the class, that doesn't mean you can't turn them in. Just means I want everyone. I think you guys are all caught up. Although, Catherine, you need to post your brain guide. I did notice that.
Definitely will.
Okay. So if you get a 0 on something, and I forget what the things are, like a discussion, that just means I want you to do the discussion. But I'm trying to catch up so that everyone realizes where they are. Have you guys looked at your grades in gradebook?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're making sense?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Definitely look ahead. Think about the reason I say look ahead to that proposal before next Monday is it shows all the things that we need to have in a proposal that I'm going to talk more about next week. It outlines all the templates, so click through and think about what templates maybe you want to use. I think there are 20 of them on there. Those type of things. Okay. Okay, I will see y'all on Wednesday if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to stay on here for a minute just because the class is still going, but you guys can sign off.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Hey, where am I supposed to submit my brand guide again?
That is supposed to go in the same place you did your logo.
Oh.
It's just a second submission into, let me try to find it.
Let me see if I could do a second submission.
And if you can't, then that's a problem, obviously. Under brand identity, assignment 7, brand identity guide, you should be able to turn your logo in as a first submission, and then as a second submission, turn in your.
Wait, okay.
Yeah, you should be able to do second submission and have it be your brand guide.
Okay.
There you go.
Let's see.
So just 2 things in the same thing, and then be sure and turn in your timesheet and invoice.
Oh, okay. I have to do a time sheet.
Yeah.
Wait. I don't know. I don't see the second submission for it.
You know what? You don't. It's not. It's not a second button. You just submit again.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like there's a button for first submission, second submission. You just turn in another thing, and it'll show up as you've turned in 2 things.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Have you already turned in your logo?
Yeah, I have.
You did. So yeah, it'll just go next to that in the submission. Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you, and I'll see you another time.
Okay. See you another time. Bye.